Welcome to the fourth session of the Sapphire Miriam Foundation Dream Big Girls Empowerment Program 2022. We'd like to extend a special thanks to the Unit Trust Corporation of Trinidad and Tobago, NGC, and the NLCB for their support in the establishment and execution of this program.
Thanks for that one. Great. So we're going to have Euthalia Philgence from St. Lucia. She's going to be our main presenter today, dealing with food and nutrition. She's a food technologist. We will also have Donna Morgan from the US, and she's going to be feeding our spirit as well. So it's going to be a wonderful session. We'll have time for breakout rooms as well. You'll get to meet each other before mental health check-in. So thanks very much for coming, young ladies. It's indeed a pleasure to have you here. So we're going to open the floor for you, young ladies. Just give us some feedback, how the program has been going so far. So we're going to give you 2 minutes to do that. Anybody wants to make any comments or have any questions? Now is the time. So let's get some feedback as to how the program has been going for you. Are you enjoying it? Are you learning? Feel free to unmute your mics. Shanae Jean says that she's learning. Anybody wants to unmute their mic? What about Ariane in St. Lucia? How's the program going for you, Ariane? Enjoying and learning? Great. Guys, you're shy this morning. You're only typing in the chat. Let's see. Caitlin, how's the program going for you? Joanna, love the sessions. Okay. They've been teaching me. Hi, Caitlin. How's the session been going for you?
Good morning, everyone. Well, for me, the sessions have been quite fun and informative for me so far.
Wonderful. Right, guys. Well, let me turn you over. If none of our partners would like to say anything, I'm going to turn you over to Ms. Euthalia Philgence in St. Lucia, who's going to take over our topic of food and nutrition for today. Thank you. Over to you, Euthalia.
Thank you, Simone, for this morning. I'm going to just try to share my screen as we're about to start. Good day, young ladies. All right, so we're going from the top. I'm going to start my slideshow. I will not be seeing anybody when I do that.
Sure, we'll give you some assistance with any questions or anything like that.
Right. Okay.
Adolescent, healthy
living. All right.
Okay.
So we're going to do that. So we're going to start. Good day, everybody. I'm hoping that all of you are having a good time, a good day. We're going to be looking at healthy living, not just diet, other dimensions of health. Okay. So I hope you enjoy it. So we're going to start with nutrition. What is that thing called nutrition? We're everybody talking about nutrition. The science of foods, nutrients, other substances, their action, interaction, and balance in relationship to health and diseases. I like that word balance in that slide because it's not just about eating well, but other stuff, balancing in your life. The process by which the organism ingests, digests, absorbs, transport, and utilizes nutrients and dispose of the end products. And look at that. It's not just eating it, but how you dispose of the end product. That's very important because even if you're eating well, but you're not disposing well, you're not healthy. All right. Nutrition includes the social, economic, cultural, and psychological implication of food eating. So it is not just eating the right food, but everything about your life around you, all right, has an impact on what you eat and how you eat. Importance of nutrition. Why we need to focus on adolescent nutrition, and that is you young people, all of you are at that stage. Adolescence is a time during which poverty and inequality are passed on to the next generation through poor nutrition and health. Imagine that. At that stage is when your parents pass down things to you. Yes, from a child, you've been going through it, but then when you become an adolescent is when you understand why what is being passed on to you. As a child, you go lucky, you 3 years, 4 years, whatever you get, you take. You don't understand the implications. But by the time you become a teenager, you start understanding the implications of stuff. So that is where you start developing your habits, your eating habits, your lifestyle, understanding who you are, not having confidence, having confidence. This is where you, at that stage, that you start understanding that. Adolescence is also a time of increased nutritional requirements. Growth during adolescence is faster than at any other time in an individual's life, except for the first year. So during that time, you're growing, girls are getting to see their periods, you start having all kinds of growth. You're getting taller, bigger. I mean, you getting your pubic hairs and everything like that. So that is when you are growing. Your body is really going through a transformation, and therefore you need food. You need proper nutrition to do that proper transition. And sometimes when we don't get the nutrition to do that transition, it actually hurts us. Next slide. Sorry. Okay. So nutrients, as defined as the constituents of food which perform important functions in the body. And these are the main nutrients, We have water, dissolves and carries nutrients around the body. It also removes waste and regulates body temperature. Protein builds new tissues, antibodies, enzymes, hormones, and other compounds. Those are the things that we need to do the work in the body. All right, provides energy, carbohydrates. Fats provides long-term energy, insulation, and protection. Vitamins facilitate use of other nutrients involving regulating growth. Minerals help build bones and teeth, aid in muscle function and nervous system activity. Now, if you're short in any of those nutrients, you're going to have problems. You understand? It is important. Sometimes people say, oh, you're not supposed to eat fatty foods. But then if I am an athlete and I am using about maybe 6,000 calories every time I work out. So for the day, I'm using about 18,000 calories. You cannot tell me I'm going to eat this at the same level with somebody that sits in their home. No, we have different nutritional needs based on our activities and also our size. Some of us are big bones, some of us are smaller bones. So all of those will determine what we get. So here is our requirements. These are requirements for an average person. So a person that is not very active or not too sedentary either. So you not too active, or you just sitting around, you're not doing too much, but you are normal. Your activities is slightly paced. It's not too much, it's not too little, and so on. So these are the requirements. Now, I will not go through all of that so that you can go through it, but I'm sure you'll be able to get it sometime. So, okay. So we also have malnutrition. What is malnutrition? Malnutrition is an impairment of health, either from a deficiency or excess or imbalance of nutrients. Most of the time when we speak about malnutrition, we speak about the deficiencies, but we also have the excess of our also imbalance of nutrients, not just the excess, but also the lack of balance of nutrients. So if I have I eat a lot of carbs, but I eat a little bit of fat, or I eat so it's not balanced. We need to eat the right amount. Malnutrition refers to both undernutrition and overnutrition. Undernutrition means a deficiency or lack of one or more nutrients. For example, vitamin A deficiency and protein energy malnutrition. Or nutrition means excess of one or more nutrients. For example, overweight or obesity occurs when one takes more energy foods than he is able to use. Okay. Sometimes I'm having problems with removing the slide. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. Potential nutrient problems. Athletes. A balanced nutritional meal is important for good health and athletic performance. So some young athletes may be tempted to adopt unhealthy behaviors as crash dieting, taking supplements to improve performance, or eating unhealthy foods to fulfill their hearty appetite. So we could see, I chose those areas because I know you are young and sometimes you have problems with those areas when it comes to nutrition. So because you're an athlete, you feel, okay, I need to remain healthy. So you start unhealthy habits of not eating properly, and you taking supplements that you don't need to take that could cause problems. We see a lot of athletes have died from taking supplements that they did not need to take for their stamina. Also, now we've seen the Olympic, the different games are banning people for taking certain supplements. Okay. Diet, food and drink regularly consumed, which we eat in the form of meals, the kind and amount of food prescribed for a person for a special reason. This is what your diet is. That's what a diet is. Food and drink regularly consumed, which we eat in the form of meals. All right. So what influences our diet? Okay. Our culture and religious beliefs. If you are Seventh-day Adventist or Rastafarian, you will not be eating pork or beef, and Rastafarians don't eat any meats. They're vegans or Muslim or Hindu. You don't eat certain things, and if you depends on your religion. Your culture also determines what you eat. Let me give you an example. Last month, we had some people come here to do a project, and of course I was involved in the project. And then in St. Lucia, we have African snails. We see them as an invasive species. They come and we kill them. So we had this gentleman there from Ghana. He went to the Ministry of Agriculture with me, and we have this big poster on invasive species and what to do to kill the giant African snails. And he's like, oh my goodness, you guys are killing this? This is food. This is expensive food. And I'm saying to him, culturally, we don't eat snails. I tell him, no, we won't be eating it. It's okay. He's like, but you could make money. I say, yeah, we know, but we won't be eating it, yeah? Because it's not in our culture. I understand. I know it's what y'all eat. Y'all can make money from it and everything. But in our culture, it's an invasive species that we need to kill, not to eat. So, but in his culture, it's okay. So we have to understand the difference in cultures and how they eat. Your economic status. How much money do you have to spend on food? Especially now, food is very expensive. So that will determine what you eat, what you have available for you around you will determine what you want to eat also. So your economic status means how much money you have available to purchase food. Availability, what is available around you. And that's the other thing I already noticed in the region. I'm actually doing a project on that. We don't know what foods we have around us. So we see trees and we don't know what it is. And then we have food around us that we're not aware that they are food and how to prepare it to eat it. And actually today I will be doing a presentation on edible foods that we ignore in the region. So I have to do that this afternoon, incidentally. And so if we know what we have around us, we know what's available around us, I think some of us will eat much better because we know that we know what they are. Then we have convenience. Is that convenient? Are we busy? We can't cook for ourselves. Where do we get our food from? You understand? Cooking skills. What kind of skills you have? If you don't know how to cook, of course, you will not be able to cook the things that you have around. You will limit the way you cook. So if I cannot cook, I will just boil some rice and eat it with some corned beef. But somebody like me, I would want to make, some vegetable stir fry, and I would want to make some porridge with some plantain, and I would mix all kind of stuff with things that I would want to make a burger with plantain, and then somebody tell me you're making burgers with plantain. Yes, that kind of stuff. So if depending on your cooking skills, your education, what do you know about the food? What have you heard? Are you aware? Education there doesn't mean degree or whatever, but your awareness of food, what it is. Peer pressure, what your friends don't eat. And I remember when I was growing up as a child, I used to have a lot of fish because my father was a fisherman. We always had fish home. So when I went to school, I wanted to hide my fish because I saw the children with their chicken, their big piece of fried chicken. And all the time I'm there eating healthier than the kids, and I want to hide my food. But at that time, that was the in thing, chicken and potatoes, not our sweet potatoes, but the West potatoes that we buy from America and Europe. Everybody was having that. And I have my chicken and probably some plantain and stuff, and I want to hide it because I don't want my friends to see what I'm eating. But I'm eating healthier than them. But I'm so, at that time, peer pressure, getting accepted by my friends important. So I focus on that. Social media, what you see on TV, all those cereals, they bombard in our faces, and we want to buy it, we want to eat it. Cocoa Pebbles and all the other, I don't know the new ones, I'm sorry, I'm older. and they're not good for us, but they're letting us believe that it is healthy. Cornflakes, everybody want to eat cornflakes, but these things are not healthy. It's better if you make some porridge with some plantain, some porridge with some blogo, you make some porridge with some breadfruit. That is healthier than eating those things with a whole bunch of high fructose corn syrup in there. It has all kinds of chemicals, and the chemicals, I always say, if you can't read it, don't even bother to put it in your mouth, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Then we have diet and meal planning. Meal planning is an art and a science, seriously. An art in the skillful blending of colors, textures, and flavors. A science in the wise choice of food for optimum nutrition and digestion. To help with that, different countries have designed different dietary guidelines, which consist of food groups. So instead of you having to think of, okay, what is the chemical makeup of that food and the chemical makeup of that food? So how could I combine them? We're all not scientists. The different countries have come up with different dietary guidelines, and they do that by creating food groups. And this is in the Caribbean. We have different, what they've done, whatever product that is common in the country, that the country focuses on, this is what they use as a dietary guidelines. In St. Vincent, they have a breadfruit. That's the symbol of a dietary guidelines, and it tells you what are the different things you need to eat, and it gives you the wider parts and the smaller parts. In Bahamas, they have a pineapple. In St. Lucia, we have a cold pot. In Jamaica, they have a plate. That one, I think, here is Haiti. Basically, we have different countries, Barbados, El Salvador, Aruba. They have different dietary guidelines, and they use different symbols to use for their dietary guidelines. So the dietary guidelines will tell you which foods you need to eat most of, okay, during the day. So you need to check out which ones for your country, check out which dietary guidelines, which symbol that your country has for the dietary guidelines. So that would be your homework, to check out your country's dietary guidelines and to see how you could actually create a diet, use a meal using the dietary guidelines for your country. Okay, and more dietary guidelines. In Grenada, they have a nutmeg, and there's a sugar meal for St. Kitts, and this one is for Belize, the basket, and the other one is for Martinique, and so on. So these are the different types of things that they use for dietary guidelines. And our food groups, the Caribbean food groups, a guide to meal planning. So we have food groups in the Caribbean. Staples is where we have all our starchy foods like plantain, breadfruit, flour, oats, everything else. Legumes and nuts, usually we put the nuts paired up with the legumes, and that's your beans and your pulses. Foods from animal, fruits, vegetables, fats and oils. And you see how they have set them apart here. So the 6 food groups, what are they? We have our staple foods, our nutrients, and the recommended serving size. I have all of that in this document here. I'm not going through them in detail, but if you would like them, I'm sure we can arrange that you get it. So we have our cereals, our starchy foods, roots, tubers, and their products. And we have our serving size, 2 to 3 servings recommended per day. Per meal, 1 slice of whole wheat bread, 1 ounce of dry whole grain cereal, and half cup cooked yam or dashing breadfruit, okay? Then we have our legumes and nuts, and it provides us with proteins and carbohydrates and minerals and calcium. And we also have the serving size, 1 to 2 servings a day, and with the serving size on there, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, 2 tablespoons of seeds, half a cup of cooked legumes or beans, and 1/3 cup or 1.5 ounce nuts is actually the serving size. Then we have our dark green leafy yellow vegetable, 2 to 3 servings, and we see the servings there, 1 cup leafy vegetable and half cup raw or cooked vegetables. And we have our fruits, 2 to 3 servings per time, 1 medium fruit, 1/4 cup dried fruit, half a cup of fresh or frozen canned fruits, and so on. So this is the nutrients it provides: carbohydrates, vitamin C, vitamin A, yellow, and a B complex vitamins, minerals, and fibers. And foods from animals: calcium, protein, vitamins A and D, thiamine, and the others. And you take 2 to 3 servings, and you see the serving size are much smaller than the other sizes that I mentioned earlier. 1 cup of milk, 1 ounce meat or fish, not a whole pound on your plate, 1.5 ounces cheese, and 1 egg. That's a serving. And our fats and oils, you do that sparingly. 1 teaspoon of oil or butter and 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise is a serving. Yeah. Okay. So then we have food combinations. We have double mix. How do you get your food to be balanced without you being a scientist, basically? So we have the double mix. Staples or cereal and legumes. So that would be a rice and peas or toast and baked beans. All of that's already a balanced meal. Cereal or food from animals, or mac and cheese, is already balanced. All you need to do is throw on a salad with this and you're good to go. Rice. So if you have macaroni and cheese, you don't need to add meat again. You already have your protein, you already have your staples, and all you need to throw on is some salad. Rice and baked fish, that's a double mix. Staples provision, food from animals and a staple. So you have green bananas and saltfish, or you have this is a pie with cornmeal and meat inside. So that also has given you the provision stable must be mixed with food from animals or for the meal to contain protein of high biological value. This is the most economical meal plan. The right mix must be ensured so that it contains all the essential amino acids in the correct proportions. So that is your easiest meal planning, the double mix. All you have to do with the double mix is throw on a salad and then you're good for the day. We have triple mixes, and that includes staples or cereal with legumes and vegetables, example, rice, peas, and carrots. Or you have a staple with food from animals. So that could be a ripe plantain with saltfish and callaloo, or any staple. Or you have, in that case here, we have a green bananas and stuff with callaloo and saltfish. And then you could have staple food from animal with legumes, example, beef and pigeon peas and stew. So we have a pigeon peas stew there with some green bananas in the photograph there. So then we have the 4 mix, which is one of the most complete one, but it's also the most expensive, and it has a highest nutrient value. And it could be easy to make, but it is the most complex meal. So we have one. So something like a bouillon. I think we all make bouillon, or how we call it all down in some countries. We call it different things in other countries. So cereal, legumes, and food from animals plus vegetables. So you could have something like boiled dumplings with stewed beef with beans and carrots. You could have something like ground provisions with legume, food from nuts and vegetables. So something like boiled yam, stewed beans, oxtail, and pumpkin. It will be one. Or you could have a real bouillon where you have your beans, your meat and stuff. You mix everything together all in one pot. So you could have your meats with vegetables, peas, and a salad, and so on. Okay, so we're going into health. We talk about food and nutrients. Health now. What is health? Is food the only part of health? No. The condition of being sound in body, in mind, and spirit, especially freedom from physical disease or pain. Health by Webster. Soundness of body or mind, that conditions in which it is functions and duly and efficient discharged. That's from the Oxford Dictionary. And a condition of quality of human organisms expressing the adequate functioning of the organism in given conditions, genetic and environment. And that's very important. I think that's the FAO definition. And health is the total balance of a human being. Physical dimensions. Let's look at the different dimensions of health. We have the physical dimension. The signs of physical health in an individual are good complexion, a clear skin, bright eyes, lustrous hair with a body well clothed with firm flesh, not too fat, a sweet breath, a good appetite, sound sleep, regular activity of bowels and bladder, and smooth, easy coordinated bodily movement. Look at all the dimensions of physical health. And I hope you're looking at yourself and looking at to see if you have all those different things. All the organs of your body are of accepted size and functions normally. All the senses are intact. The pulse rate are normal, blood pressure, and exercise tolerance, and all within the range of the individual's age and sex. Very important. So you need to have, in order for you to be in great health, these are the different things physically and from the outside that you'll be looking at. Physical condition continues. Exercise helps to support not just your physical health, but also your mental and emotional health. When you start training, you will get some soreness since you are using parts of your body that you never used before. Alternate days for exercise, but continue training. It will go away. Always check with your physician if you're going to do strenuous training. And if you get excruciating pain, check your doctor or work out with a specialist that works with people with special conditions or injuries. And physical dimensions, and I deliberately put that in there for you to see how many calories you burn per hour doing different activities. And we have sleeping, watching TV. So if you're sleeping, you're burning about 50 calories. Watching TV, only 100. If you're standing, about 150. If you're doing walking, you're doing about almost close to 200. Yoga, the amount of calories, weight training, bicycling, running, and so on. It has all the different activities you do and how much calories you burn. Now, I went also to do the housework, because I know some of us don't want to do no housework. So I'm just showing you how many calories you can burn while doing some housework and helping your parents, those that are not helping your parents, or doing things for yourself. Vacuuming, you burn about 49 calories to 66, depending on your size. Washing dishes, 42 to 59. Mowing lawn, somebody, okay, thank you. Scrubbing bathrooms, dusting, laundry, cooking, all of these things could have you burn some calories. Washing cars, some people could wash the cars for their parents, and mopping floors, all of that you can burn calories. Actually, the one that has most is mowing the lawn, and what comes next is mopping the floors and washing the car. You could help with that. Cooking also burns some, and dusting also. Okay, calorie dense foods and drinks and the activity equivalents. So I put in some products there that you eat a lot as young people, and the amount of calories it has, and what other activities that you have that you could take off some of those calories. Look at what you have to do in order to take off those calories that you have put into your body. So if you eat sugary soft drinks, you put in 148 calories. And when you walk in, you're only taking out 26 minutes. You have to walk for 26 minutes at 3 to 5 miles per hour in order to remove those calories that you eat from that. And we have there for chocolate, I would just say the bigger ones, cinnamon roll, cereals, you put in 172 calories in your body. It takes you 16 minutes run or 41 minutes walk in order to burn that. Okay. If you eat packets of chips, 171 calories, and you have to walk 41 minutes or 16 minutes of running to burn that. Okay, let's go into the different mental dimensions of health. How come I able to make me say this? All right. Good mental health is the ability to respond to the many varied experiences of life, social and emotional. Good diet, good sleep, physical activity, and stress management is very important for the brain to remain healthy. Foods for good mental health: turmeric, it lowers proclivity to Alzheimer's. It has been shown to activate genes that reduce inflammation and those that weakens your brain cells. Okay. And we say coffee can improve your brain's ability to learn by nearly 10%, and it can relieve headaches and migraines. And I know some of you do suffer from that. What I try to do is to try to put in what I know young people talk about in my presentation. I hope it made sense to you. You will tell me later. Wild fish, you can eat, is also good for your brain health. And we also say nuts, cashew nuts, walnuts. These are also good for brain health, even peanuts, yeah? The other thing you need to do for you to think your brain health, embrace alone time. Take time for yourself. And we're not saying about to be on the tablet, that's not time by yourself. Time by yourself means time by yourself, okay? So you sit down, you take a little break, you think about what you went through for the day, what you did, what you could have done better. You're not too young to start doing that. Take time to meditate and read. You read something, I know you're online all the time playing games, doing TikTok, but take time to read something educational, something that will make you think, improve your IQ, and to improve what you know and how to improve yourself. Cut back on TV time. You understand? There's a study that found out that who watch more than 2 hours of TV a day are twice likely to be diagnosed with some form of attention disorder. Okay, because you have that TV always stimulating your mind, that tablet always stimulating your mind. So you need to use that. Now children now do not have attention span, but when they're on the tablet, they on it forever. They can stay on it for the whole day, no problem. But once they're doing something else, they can't do it. it's just taking too long. We don't have that kind of a ability to pay attention anymore. Other ways, exercise, regular exercise, it's great for your body. It's also great for your mind. If you have an active lifestyle, you don't age as quick as people that don't have an active lifestyle. I can tell you, my mom is 72 and she jogs every day. She still jogs every day. She does everything that she needs to do. She actually climbed the St. Lucia Pitor. We have something called Go Pitor and Tipito. She climbed it when she was in the 60s. She climbed it twice. So, and some younger persons wouldn't dare climb, and she has climbed it twice. Your brain needs proper sleep, so plenty of rest is recommended. And don't stay up all night watching your tablet or on TV, and then you don't get good sleep. You are destroying your brain. Sleep. When we're awake, Walker says essentially we have low brain activity, low level brain that we're causing low level brain damage. So by this, he's referring to the buildup of the sticky toxic junk in our brain known as beta amyloid. This accumulation of beta amyloid has been found to correspond with the onset of Alzheimer's, among many other negative health correlated with lack of sleep. And sleep is beneficial as more than just a reparatory function. It also replenishes spent resources and regulates hormone levels that dictate our appetite, cognitive function, and motor skills. Now, if you don't understand anything, keep your questions. When I'm done, you'll be asking me questions, okay? Lack of sleep leads to an increase in hunger, but even worse, it leads our bodies to crave unhealthy and fattening foods. And I can say that is true because when I go to bed very late, while I'm working late, I feel like I need to go and eat something. I get so hungry, I need to eat. So when you don't go to bed early, you eat more because trust me, while you're working, you get hungry. Those with heavy carbs and less greens. In fact, people who run on 4 to 5 hours of sleep per night tend to eat 200 to 300 more calories per day. And I can testify this is true because I do eat while I am awake, working late. For women, a lack of sleep can lead to a significantly increase of risk of breast cancer and drops in immune hormones. And you're not too young to know that because now we're having people 21, 22 dying from breast cancer, even 19 years old dying from breast cancer. So you need to know how to you need to know those things. Then we have other dimensions of health, which includes spiritual dimension. An individual has to be at peace with himself before he can be at peace with the world. Attention to moral values, religious beliefs, ethics, exercise, and meditation are some of the ways of attaining spiritual health. It is just human nature to feel the need to connect with a higher power. Whichever that higher power is to you, you need to have that dimension of health that will allow you to connect with that higher power, especially when you need it, when you're going through stressful situations, you're going through a tough time, you need that time to connect, that time to feel refreshed, okay? Then we have vocational and occupational dimensions. The importance of this dimension is exposed when individuals suddenly lose their jobs or face with mandatory retirement. So as you get older, you need to start preparing for this. I wish my parents had taught me all of those things earlier, that I know I would be more prepared for the future. But now I know, and I'm teaching my son and I'm preparing myself. Even if I get to know later, I started preparing later than you. You are now getting all of that information, so you need to start preparing now. The importance of this is to ensure that you that for many individuals, the vocational dimension may be nearly a source of income. To others is considered as success. And I remember some time ago, we were talking about what is success to you. And that depends on what is success to you. So, but you have to look at something that you enjoy doing. You find your purpose. And when you find your purpose, when you work within your purpose, the money will come. Okay, but you first have to look at for something you enjoy doing. I will employ to you that do not just do something just because you want money, but do something you enjoy. I think you're learning that early, that you can actually look for something you enjoy doing. Yes, we need money. Yes, we have to eat. It's important to have money. It's important to have income, but you need to enjoy also what you do, because when the hard times come, you will not feel so depressed and downtrodden because you're doing something that you enjoy. Okay, determinants of health. The factors which influence health are Hereditary. What have you inherited from your parents, your family? And we can change that. Don't think that because my parents are diabetic, that I need to be diabetic so too. You could change that trajectory by doing all what you can to keep yourself healthy, and then so that you can have your children that are healthy, and then you change some of those hereditary factors. Environment. Where you live. If you live in a place that is congested, full of filth and dirt, that will affect your health. Or in your home that is cluttered. I don't know about you, but clutter really destroys your mental health. It prevents you from growing, and it could make you sick because everything around you is so dusty. Yes. Socioeconomic conditions, and we're talking about that, how much money you have, the conditions around you. Do you have people playing loud music? Do you have neighbors that don't care about you, and so therefore they infringe on your life and it causes stress? Your education. If you at a higher level of education, you make different choices that you would make if you at a different social level. You'd make it different now. Occupation, what you do for a living. If I am a mechanic, or if I work from at nights, when I come, it's going to affect my body, because at night is made to sleep, and people that work at night have to sleep in the day, and sometimes they don't get to sleep in the day because they have to do all the house chores, and therefore it makes them sick because they are not able to take care of their body. Political systems. Sometimes we say, oh, me, I'm not voting, I don't care, whatever. Whatever your government decides, it affects you. If they decide that, okay, we only providing health, that kind of healthcare, it's not available in your country. If you don't have money, you can't get the other healthcare. So it is important to know and be part of a group or something that will help you choose your healthcare systems. I know you guys are young, but there are some of you that are 15, 16, 19. You need to know these things, that you can contribute to the decisions your government make. Go to meetings and say, no, this is not what I want for me. This is what I want for my future. And you are right to ask for what you want for your future. You have a right to say what you want. You have a right to be where discussions is being done about issues that will affect your health and your future. So you need to know the political systems of your country, how it affects your health, and what you need to do in order to counteract that, or to go with the system if it is a good one. I talk about the political system, including health services, depending on what is around you. If you don't have certain health services around you, you can't do anything, especially if you don't have the money to go elsewhere to get it. You know, if there's just this health center and that's what you can afford, that's where you'd go. If you have money, then it's okay, you can go to another country. But if that's all your country have and you don't have money for better, then your health services, this is what is available to you. That also will affect how your health is. Your economic status, we talk about the socioeconomic conditions also. So it's how much money you have will determine a lot of things that you do and how you do it. Yeah. And in conclusion, I put some of the things that you need to do in order to have a healthy eating life or healthy lifestyle. Some of the things we talked about that them before. Following your country's dietary guidelines, because each country has specific dietary guidelines. And like I said to you, I would like you to go and find your country's dietary guideline and you plan a meal to suit the guidelines. And also, I would like you to do the meals in one of each combination, 2 mix, 3 mix, and 4 mix. Okay, so that would be your homework. Increase intake of local produce, vegetables, and fruits. Always look around to see what is in plentiful, what is in season. Make use of what is in season in your country. You know, in the Caribbean, we have different things in different seasons. So make sure you make use. So if it is golden apples that are in season, make sure you use the golden apples. You make stuff with them, eat them, do what you need to do. We have a different crop basically in season at every one given time. There's something in season. So use them. Eat 3 meals every day and healthy snacks in between. Include protein containing foods in meals and snacks, animal or plant protein. It does not have to be animal protein. Eat a variety of foods. Don't eat the same thing all the time. When you eat a variety of foods, it will allow you to make healthy choices. But if you eat the same things all the time, you like chicken and chips every day, that's not giving you a chance to make a healthy choice. Okay, but eat different things every time. And I always tell people that they're afraid to try new foods. You go to a new country, Please don't eat what you're accustomed of eating at home. It's an opportunity to try something. You go to a function, there's something new. You never would have purchased it, but it's a time to try. Try it out. See if you like it. If you don't like it, you say, I like the taste, but I don't like how it is prepared. Then you get an opportunity. Now you know you like it. You can buy it and prepare it how you want. Yeah. Do not be afraid to try new foods. Choose healthy snacks such as vegetables and fruits or baked snacks instead of fried. Drink water instead of soft drinks, sugary juices, or sports drinks. Prepare food at home using local produce, vegetables, and fruits. Limit foods high in sugar, sodium, or saturated fat. Limit the eating of fast foods and processed foods. I know sometimes the fast food smells so good when you're walking down the road. I know our KFC smell, boy. When you pass in and you're hungry, that's smelling real good. And don't ask for a nice hot bread if you're passing by a bakery. That bread pulling you. Oh my God. Yes, but you need to still limit. You can eat it. We're not saying stop eating it, but don't eat a lot of it. Eat when you're hungry. Stop when you're full. Don't eat food after you're full. All right. Just when you're full, just stop. Pay attention to portion sizes. And these places have the up sizes. We don't have that problem in the Caribbean much. We don't sell up sizes in the Caribbean much at all, because I guess our culture does not dictate. And I guess the prices of the things are so high that we will not be doing up sizes. So that's not a big problem in St. Lucia, but in other countries or other smaller Caribbean islands. But in other countries, I saw Miss Donna can tell you the upsize thing is a big thing. And, they tell you, oh, you could just pay an extra $1 and you get an upsize, or extra 50 cents, you get an upsize. Do you need an upsize? Not necessarily, but well, it's just only 25 cents more. Let me just buy it. That kind of thing. So you need to be wary of that. And thank you for your attention. I hope you've learned a lot. I hope I reached you. You have lots of questions. I would love to hear them. And don't forget, your homework is to make sure that you find out what is the dietary guidelines, what symbolizes the dietary guidelines in your country. And I would like you to create 3 meals, a double mix, a triple mix, and a quadruple mix for your homework. Thank you very much for listening. Simone, back to you.
Thank you so much, Euthalia, for that comprehensive discussion on health, on nutrition, on food. It was indeed very detailed. There's a lot of information for them to take away. And I think the important thing now is to do the exercises. So once they've done the exercises, they'll get a better grasp. Right, young ladies? So it's important that you do the work, you put in the work, because this is a very practical topic. It's something that we eat every day, right? 3-4 times for the day and snacks in between. So we really need to know how to eat right in order to nourish our bodies. And as we've seen, food and nutrition, it goes from not only physical, food, but it goes into feeding our mental and our spiritual aspect. So the food and nutrition filters into our general health. And as we can see, health is not only physical health and strength, but it also leads to mental health as well as spiritual well-being. What I'd like you all to do as well is to do some research on the gut-brain connection, because little do we know that there is a connection between the gut and the brain. What we feed ourselves, what goes into our mouth and into our gut, influences the way that our brain thinks, influences our mental state, which in turn influences our emotional and spiritual state. So it's very important that you understand, because sometimes we think, well, it's food, I'm just eating, and food goes in and it comes out, and that it doesn't influence how we feel and how we think, okay? And sometimes we find that we're always in a certain type of mood, we're not in a good mood, but the foods that we eat, it influences our mental well-being, our emotional well-being, our moods, and our spiritual well-being on a whole. So it's really, really important that from young, that you young ladies know the importance of eating well, okay? Because it will influence you in the future. It influences your hormonal imbalances, the changes that's going on in your body at this point in time, etc. And if you eat well, your body will develop well and it will avoid problems later on in life, okay? Because we don't see the importance of it now, but later on when the aches and pains and certain things start to step in, then we realize that it's because of things that we have done earlier on that has influenced these changes, negative changes in our body as opposed to positive changes. So as we're going into this segment of talking about moving from the physical well-being on physical nutrition, we're going to be moving into that actual mental well-being and spiritual well-being aspect. And we have Donna who will be helping us out with this segment. So we'd like this to be a participative segment. You can do your affirmations and chime in here.
That made me so hungry. I don't know about you.
So girls, you can put on your cameras when you're speaking and let's see your beautiful faces. It's a bright and sunny morning and we want to see some cheery faces. So please put on your cameras and let's interact a little bit. I know Donna always talking about food. Oh, it's my favorite topic, you know, so it kind of gets me hungry and all those beautiful pictures.
Yes. And you know, we in the US, right? We eat, it's so awesome to see the breakdown because we have adopted more of the sugary cereals for breakfast,
Yes.
Donuts, the processed foods are running, the fast foods. That is a typical breakfast. Fortunately for me, being from Jamaica, growing up in the Caribbean, I still cook like for my kids and grandkids. I cook a lot of porridge and oatmeal, and if I do eggs, it's eggs and plantain.
Right.
That type of, you know, they love porridge, but the majority of families now, for, you know, kids are just grabbing a Mickey D's or some fast food, some muffins, some donuts,
Pancakes.
yeah, it's creating it really, because we're now in an epidemic of childhood obesity, early diabetes, and it really is from our food. So yes, our food makes such a big difference.
It does. It leads into a lot of lifestyle diseases later on that we take for granted now as children, you know, consume a lot of, you know, sugary substances, and then it has the effects later on manifesting in obesity, you know, pancreatic conditions, diabetes, blood pressure, etc. All stems from what, you know, the nutrition that we put in to our bodies. That's why it's important to know this from young, because we can't just, you know, feed ourselves for 50 years junk food and then at 50 decide, oh, I'm going to start to eat healthy. Your body's already conditioned in a particular way and it's already built itself around that. So it's going to be functioning under that premise. So if you start to eat healthy at 50, you can't expect that your whole life will just change around in a few weeks or a few years. Yeah, it's already, you know, conditioned. So I think
before we get the girls,
Janae, some of them want to say something.
Yeah, Janae wants to say,
yes.
Yeah.
Joanna
ahead,
and Katisha also.
Great. Go ahead, Janae. We'll have Joanna and Katisha after.
There's a disease called kwashiorkor.
Yes.
Which happens because a lack of nutrient. There's a lack of nutrients, which is protein. And that is often in Africa.
Yes.
Yes, thanks, Janae, for sharing that.
Yes, kwashiorkor. Yeah, and the problem with Africa is not like they don't have food. The problem is distribution and unawareness. Sorry about that noisy vehicle. Unawareness. One thing you should know is, of course, Africa's always gotten a bad rap, and I don't know why they keep showing those symbols of Africa. And Africa is a very, very rich country. They have a lot of food. Sometimes because of colonialism, they were brainwashed into not knowing what food that they have. So they're not even aware that the food that they have is food. And that also happened in the region here. Remember, as slaves, where they were giving us saltfish and bread and so on. So we lose sight of eating our ground provisions and what was available to us in our countries. But we were forced to eat wheat. And look at, until now, we have an affinity for wheat. We can't get wheat of our diet. We need to have bread. If we don't have bread, we don't have food. We don't have breakfast. And it's because, but we don't grow wheat in the region. We don't grow wheat, but we must have wheat. Why? It is deliberate, and therefore we will always be sick because we don't eat what we have. We must have somebody else's stuff in order for us to feel like we're eating healthy or eating well. And that's the kind of mentality that is still over there. It's still here too, that we need to change in order for us to start having really healthy lifestyles and start choosing from what we have in our country. That's what the problem is. Sorry for giving you all that high level kind of thinking, but this is what it is. It is what it is, and we need to know it from here.
That is so true, Euthalia. Let's hear from Joanna. Joanna, you can unmute your mic and go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, Joanna.
Hey, Joe. Do your thing.
How are y'all doing today?
Wonderful.
Very good, honey.
So I am Joanna Belfield. I'm from Dominica. I'm 10 years old and I like to draw.
Wonderful, Joanna. Thanks for being here with us.
She's one of the new girls.
It's great. It's great to have you. What do you think about the food and nutrition session? What have you learned?
I learned a lot.
What was your favorite part of it? Do you like the food combinations?
Yeah, the food combination was pretty good.
Wonderful.
I also looked after my siblings because they kind of run everywhere.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Joanna, for being so brave and sharing with us. Thank you.
Somebody else.
We have Katisha next.
Katisha?
Yeah, Katisha, you want to make a contribution?
I'm not too sure about that.
Katisha says no, thanks. She's being shy. Anyone else wants to comment before we move into the other segment? All right, so over to you, Donna.
All right. Well, you know, I'm glad to see the beautiful faces. Don't jump off. Don't jump off, because we're going to be very interactive. Great job, Euthalia. That was so important. You see how we, even as adults, learn. So you think that, oh, these are big people. They're not, you know, we're learning just like you are. Every day, when you think you've learned everything, every day you learn something more. So thank you. My name is Donna Morton Morgan, and I am here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. I am the president of Women of Culture Incorporated. I have two nonprofits, Women of Culture Incorporated, Caribbean American Diaspora Alliance. I'm a real estate broker. I'm a mindset coach. You know, I'm from Jamaica, lived in a VI and moved to Florida, and it was the closest thing to being back home. So I'm on a mission to just celebrate our Caribbean culture, even though I'm way here in Florida, right? It's so important as you learn to fuel the mind, body, and soul. It's all one. Because if you're not healthy, you know, what does the success bring you, right? If you're not healthy in the mind, that's a problem. If you're not healthy in your soul, which is like your character, it's a problem, because then you're gonna do negative behaviors and end up, you know, incarcerated or something. So fueling the mind, body, and soul is really important. So part of what we do at Women of Culture, Inc. is we have a program called Seeds of Success. So listen to that, Seeds of Success. Let me let someone in that I see coming in. So, but it's important to understand we're trying to plant seeds to you, right? You're getting seeds about love, about health, mental health, all of that. But you also have to learn to plant your own seeds, right? We're not going to be here for you every day. So you have to be your own farmer. We all have to be our own farmer in life. And what does a good farmer do? A good farmer does not just put the seed in the ground and walk away. A good farmer has to water, weed, fertilize. You always have to be attending to your crop, right? And a farmer, if you plant, for example, if you plant apples, you cannot expect after a couple weeks or a couple months pineapples. That would be insane. But we do that as individuals. We plant negativity seeds, discouragement seeds, complaining seeds, all these negative seeds we really plant. And then we're like, but wait, how come I'm not getting successful? How come I'm not getting fit? Right? So we all are responsible. We reap what we sow. It can't be mom or dad, uncle, auntie, right? Someone said you can't plant peas and get corn. But for whatever reason, we do this day in, day out, generation after generation, because nobody really kind of talks about this angle that we are planting our own seeds. We can only do so much as empowerment coaches or even teachers or parents. You still have to be responsible for what you think, what you believe, because your mindset is going to be the key, right? So sometimes when we see another young girl or even women, another woman, another business person, but another young girl, we see that person just doing so much in her community, being able to just go far in life, and we're wondering, boy, how does she do it? You live in the same community. How come she keeps getting better grades and so forth? It could really just be her mindset. Her mindset is, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to do better. I'm going to make better choices. All these things you may not know. So now sometimes we get upset at the person because they're achieving. And, that's not good. What is she doing? And sometimes it's okay to ask people. And that's why they say, hang around successful people and ask, what are you doing? What do you do differently from me? I used to get asked that question all the time from a very, very, very close friend of mine. And the friendship changed because she got jealous. What do you do? She goes, what do you keep doing differently than me? And I really wasn't even understanding what she was asking me. And I started to understand, I think differently. That's it. I think differently, but we don't talk about that. So your thoughts are seeds, your individual thoughts. So just think about, even since we've been on for the last hour, we've been thinking every second. You're probably thinking about the food that you saw. You're thinking about what you want to go cook after this, what you have to do, all the chores you have to do, the homework, the assignments, what you need to do for your family, all these things. Thoughts are all, we can't get away from thoughts. You cannot run away from thoughts. They're in it. You're thinking about what your friend said over last week at school, what your teacher said. You're thinking about, but a lot of times it's a lot of negative. For some reason, we tend to go more negative. We're focused on all this. I can't fit into this. I don't do this. I don't look like the girl on TV. I don't this. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. And these are our thoughts. So then as a little girl, we grew up as a teenager and we're focusing all on the negative, the negative, the negative. And then we grow up into a big woman, and it's a lot of the negative. I can't do this. I want to do this, but I don't have the confidence. I'm not smart enough. And then sometimes in our environment, we don't have people. We don't always have that support, right? To say, good job. We don't always have that support. So you as an individual have to learn to be your first best friend versus being your first enemy, right? We always wait for the best friend or the boyfriend or somebody. Even mom and dad, we can't always wait for mom and dad to say good job. But, you know, they're busy. They have things going on. They may have more children and they have to tend to the other children. So we have to learn to motivate ourselves. We have to learn to be our own farmer and say, okay, make a pledge to yourself to deposit good thoughts about yourself. And so culture is another big thing. So if the culture is all about speaking negative, how do you get away from that? When the culture is saying you're not going to be nothing, you're this and that, you do this, you're too stupid. And our culture, the Caribbean culture, is really harder, I have to say, versus the American culture that I've experienced. The American culture is a little bit more politically correct, but our Caribbean families can be hard when it emotionally on children, right? Because you get all kind of your face, this and that, you're ugly, you're stupid, there's a lot. So now you take that and you internalize it. But don't lose hope. You can change. Even at my age, I learn every day and I encourage myself. And I love to encourage others. You see how we say, good job. Good job, Euthalia, for that presentation. It's important to say good job, but it's important to say to yourself, understand that you are here on this earth for a reason. You have an assignment from God. There's something that you came here to do. You're not just here. So sometimes we just have to take a few minutes to just, or some time to say, what am I here for? Find out what you love to do. What fuels your soul? Is it helping? Is it cooking? Is it sewing? Is it baking? Is it empowering, encouraging others? Is it helping the poor, feeding the homeless? Find out where that's your, before you even talk about careers, find out what's your purpose to give back to this world, right? So this forum is called Dream Big. Dream big. We don't dream big enough. We don't dream big enough. And so but we don't, usually we're not taught. Nobody's really pushing you. First of all, from you past 4 or 5, people are saying, stop dreaming, stop daydreaming. That's what you get. So then you shut that down. But today, understand that dreaming is important. Dreaming is where you're gonna now, quietly, you're not bothering anybody. We're not saying daydream and don't pay attention in class. Find the times, carve out your me times throughout your early morning, before class, definitely before bed. Dream about what you want. If you won the lotto and the lottery right now, money is not a problem. Dream on that level. What do you want for yourself, for your family, for your parents, for your community? Never just think about just yourself. What kind of life? Where would you travel to? Would you go to Africa? Would you travel out to the US? Or would you go to Europe? Start to think on that level. So part of what we do, won't hold you long, is called alive, being alive. So that's part of our seeds of success. And A stands for affirmations. Those seeds, you're gonna have to start to plant seeds of affirmation. We'll come back to that. L is for love. Love God. You all have different religion, but no, there is a higher power. Whatever you call that higher power, that's up to you. But build a partnership with that higher power. Love God and love yourself. So you're building a partnership with God and self, right? Because you know how important it is to know that you have a partner. If you're showing up for a game, whatever it is in life, when you know you have a partner, you feel completely different. You walk different because you know you've got support. So a lot of times we're not taught that God is a partner, not someone that's just here to rebuke you and all these things, but it's a partnership, and it's your personal spiritual partnership. No one can take away from you, right? But love God, love self. So again, alive, I is for imagination. Now that is, again, the daydreaming. Imagine what you want from life, where you want to go, what kind of clothes you want to wear. Just imagine, spend time in that imagination. And when you're imagining, take time to feel, take time to smell. Oh, wow. The beautiful, the flowers. I'm on the beach with the family. Whatever it is, it could be, everybody's imagination is going to be different. And it does not mean you have to have in a big car and things like that. You could be on the beach, you could be in the garden, you could be on the trail walking. Okay, so find whatever that is and imagine often about your future. Dream big about your future and have where it puts a smile on your face and you feel it in your heart. Okay, and V is for create a vision board. A man without a vision will perish. If you put a boat in the water and you do not direct the destination, the boat will just sail all over the Caribbean Sea. If you don't say, I'm going to Haiti, I'm going to Trinidad, I'm going to Dominica, I'm going to St. Thomas, Puerto Rico, the US, it's just going to circle. You must have a vision that it's okay. The vision will change. That's okay every year because you're going to grow. But write a vision down, put it on your phone or do a vision board that you have in your room. I now have a vision board on my phone with my notes. I put pictures in it and I have a vision for your health, vision for your career, education, future. Just, have fun with it, but start to see yourself in a higher future. Okay. And E stands for encouragement. So good job. Things like that. Good job. As I walk like 3 miles per day. And as I'm walking and throughout the day, I'm saying, good job, Donna. Good job. Good job for getting up early for the meeting. Good job for walking because I didn't really want to get up and exercise. Good job for just, helping others. Good job for being on the team. Good job for showing up. So I must say, good job for you ladies showing up today. You showed up because you wanted more out of life. You've got something different that says, hey, I want more out of life, so I'm going to show up. You showed up to get the seeds. So now you can be your own farmer. We can't plant it for you. We can instill it, but even if we plant that seed, only you can water it and fertilize it and weed out the negative thoughts. So know that we are our first enemy. Sometimes we always say, oh, the enemy this and the devil do this and this and this and my friend and my mom and all this. We blame everybody else, but most times it's us. It's our lack of self-confidence, self-love, self-esteem, self-worth, self-respect that gets us in a lot of trouble. And if we are in a culture and an environment that doesn't pushes self-love, all these other things kind of flow. It's important to love yourself, not in a sense where, oh, you're just better, but love God, love yourself. So encourage yourself, be your first best friend, not your first enemy. Okay. So again, that you're a farmer. Just to recap, you are your own farmer. Plant seeds of goodness. You know, those of you that follow the Bible, it says think on good things. The Bible talks so much about belief and thoughts, renewing your mind. Our mind gets corrupt. It gets corrupt with environment, culture, right? Things, if you're in a household and that person, that family, they may not know. We can't even blame our family or friends or anybody else. They don't understand. They have to learn to plant their own seeds. So you're now going to change. You're going to go back home and you're going to not only encourage yourself, but you're going to say, good job, mom. Good job, dad. Good job, sister, brother. You know, good job, grandma. You're going to be the difference. Yes, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. If you can move from a different parish, you can move from the Caribbean to the US to the UK. If you don't change your mind, whatever that negative stronghold is going to follow you. We see it as adults. People change marriages, buy the big house. They do all these different things trying to run from something that they didn't deal with, or run away from the negative. You can't run away from you. If you change relationships, all of that, you can't, it doesn't work, but we don't understand that this level. So build that personal relationship with God, or that higher power for you. Intertwine that love for God and love for you. Know that you are a gem. You deserve the best. Start dreaming about the best. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, you're only limited to this and that. You're only limited to this kind of future. You are limited to whatever your mind says. If you can see it in your mind, it can happen as your reality. You just have to water that and fertilize that dream. So before we go on, let's just take a few minutes and just say affirmations. I am. Participate with me. I see a few you got off, but jump back on and just say, I am. I am love. I am abundant. I am beautiful. I am creative. Sometimes if you don't feel comfortable saying I am, you can say I am becoming. I am becoming amazing. I am becoming. You're still in that line of I am. I am is important, because if you're saying I am stupid, you ever listen to people's conversation and they say, I'm so stupid, I'm so clumsy. Stop it right there. Nip that. No. Do not speak about yourself like that. And do not speak when you hear others, just say, hey, you all are now little empowerment mini coaches. You're going to go out into the world and you're going to be a difference. For us to be an example to change the world, we all have to change ourselves. So who wants to jump on and just say a quick I am love, whatever it is that you feel that you are. Really quick before we move on to the next I am invincible. I am strong. Commissioner Nicole. Yes.
I'm unstoppable.
Yes.
I love that one, Janae. I'm unstoppable. I am successful. I would like to start with that. I'm successful. Come on, ladies, put on your cameras and let's chime in. Let's see everybody.
I am incredible.
Oh, yes.
Awesome.
I am
proud of myself. I'm open-minded. Great. Somebody says I'm creative. Yes, Joanna.
I am brave, I am strong, and I am invincible.
I am brave, I am strong, I'm invincible. I think we should all say that. Let's go. I am brave, I am strong, I am invincible. Come on, ladies.
love.
Nora said, I am love. Zahara, I see you trying to get on, and Chloe.
Anya says I'm capable. I am determined.
Verona.
I'm more than enough. Yes, Tiffany, I'm more than enough.
Good.
I am creative.
I am creative.
Awesome.
I am happy.
I'm healthy.
Yeah.
That's very important, a very important affirmation. We have to, proclaim our health. Sometimes we're not in the most, best of health, but we have to proclaim our health. Having positive affirmations.
I'm responsible.
I'm responsible. I am ready.
Yeah.
We are super.
I'm amazing. Yes, Samaya. Guys, we have to say these things and believe it. Because if we say negative things and we believe the negative things, it's going to come to pass. But if we say positive things and we believe the positive things, it's also going to come to pass. Our subconscious plays a very important role in manifesting what we think. We have to learn that from young. If we learn that from young and we think positive things, we'll see the manifestations coming to pass, believe me.
Yes, it's something we don't really understand, you know, sure, but you know, we don't understand electricity, but we know that electricity, I am unstoppable. I love it.
I'm empowered. Oh, that's Sapphire.
Yes.
I'm empowered. That's my gem. She's in the UK at the moment and she's listening in along with my mom.
We know that electricity lights up, you know, the house. But if you don't know about electricity, it can also kill you. So we don't understand how all of this works, but we do understand that they're powerful. So your thoughts are some kind of magnetic that goes out. We don't understand it. Don't worry about understanding. Just know that if you're planting positive seeds, you're going to get more. Not saying you're not going to have some, because even when someone plants a good crop, a tornado, storm, hurricane can come and wipe it out. But for the majority, you're going to get what you plant. So plant bananas, or if you plant oranges, do not get mad and just asking God to switch it. You know, it doesn't work like that. Part of this is nature. Are you planting positive? If you say, no, I think about I complain all the time, then you're not going to get the positive, you're not going to reap positive. It's a system.
Yes.
That you just have to understand and just trust, build that relationship, that partner. God is your partner. Build that relationship, walk with and talk as you're going to school to make right decisions. So again, fueling the mind, fueling the body, and fueling the soul. It's all about balance.
That is so true, Donna. So true, because sometimes we don't understand it, but we find that when we surround ourselves with positive affirmations, a positive attitude, for example, like we go on, maybe if it's YouTube or TikTok, and we feed our minds with, you know, positive videos and inspirational and motivational, you know, topics, that we kind of like get in that flow and our thoughts become positive and we generate that positive energy around us. We attract positive people, then positive things start happening. And then we kind of like in that flow of success, you know, reaching to where we need to be. But when we, you know, surround ourselves with negative people gossiping and, you know, not, you know, like progressing, not really wanting anything more out of life. And we, you know, listen and feed our minds and our brains, you know, negative things, then we start to feel a particular way. We feel down and depressed and, things not going good for me. I'm a loser, you know, I'm not smart, I'm ugly. And then we start to think and fester on these things. And then it brings in all sorts of other negative thoughts. And before you know it, we don't have that zeal for life, you know, but if we do the opposite, then it really fuels that zeal, you know, for life and for giving and for empowering others.
Yeah,
so it really
is
about
energy. There, we don't understand it, but energy. You know how sometimes you can be thinking about somebody, and then all of a sudden the person call. You're like, oh my God, I was just thinking about. It's something about energy and how our thoughts transfers and all of that. We don't really understand. I've been studying this for the past, I would say, 10 years, and I'm just amazed every day what I learn and to be able to just give back. One big thing too, gratitude. I know we live in a society now, everybody's just get up and go. Gratitude is another way to get that energy in your body. And it's also a healing. Gratitude, you know how stress, when we go to the doctor and the doctor says, oh, you stress out, and you get high blood pressure, you get a heart attack. Well, gratitude now is a healing, because now you're purposely spending time to say thank you. One good quick thing that you can do before night, put your hands, and you could do that right now. Do it with me. Put your hands on your chest and just feel, first of all, you're going to feel your heartbeat. You're not going to feel anybody else's, but your heartbeat. That's going to put you in a quiet spot. You're not always going to be able to do this because you're in school, but if you're just your alone time, because you feel your heartbeat, and you silently say, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you for my many blessings. Just thank you for my family, my friends, my home. Sometimes we can get into a space where we're always complaining about the next. I don't have this. I don't have the big house. I don't have the car. I don't have the grades. I don't have the clothes. I don't have this. But thank you. So this is where you just spend time to give thanks. You know how nice it is for as parents when our children come to us and just say thanks. You're like, what? You know, now you're like, you want to give them whatever and they didn't ask. So this is how you spend time with your creator, your higher power. Thank you. You're not asking about the future. You're not worrying about the past. If you need to do any forgiveness about anything, you're young. This is the forgiveness part is usually what I call forgiveness therapies for the older individuals. But this is what we call the gratitude therapy, where you're now just purposely thanking God for being. And you're appreciating all the things in your life that you have right now, that home, the garden, mom and dad, the brother or sister that drives you nuts all the time, right? Your friends, just thank you. And that now sends a different signal into your body for healing versus the stress signals, which is for diseases. So you see how we can naturally bring our body into a state of balance in our mind. If you're always thinking a lot, go into gratitude. It calms the anxiety. Thank you. And just stay there for a few seconds and feel that love. Feel how your body just lights up and energizes. That can take you as you get older in life and you're in situation. There are kids, we do human trafficking forums. Wherever you're at, you could be in a household with turmoil. You find your space and you just give thanks and you just feel that. That can bring you out of situations. A lot of times kids kill themselves when they do these things, they cut. Go into and spend time with gratitude therapy. All right.
That's wonderful, Donna. Wow, that's the icing on the cake there, Donna, I must say. And being grateful, it really helps because we can find everything to complain about, but nothing to be thankful for.
Right.
And we have so much. We get up, we have that breath of life, we can see, we can walk, we can talk. And when we think there's persons lying down, they can't move, they can't see, they can't walk, they can't talk. We have a roof over our head, we have clothes on our back, we have people around us that love us and that support. And we really have so much to be thankful for, So I think we need to live in that spirit of gratitude a little more. Sometimes it's easier, you do something for someone nice and you can't even get thanks, but the minute they're upset about something, you're gonna hear, So it's always good to, look for the good things in life to be thankful for. And as young people, we have so much to be thankful for. And I just want the girls to always remember that and to say positive affirmations and remember how precious that they indeed are. Thanks, Donna. That was icing on the cake, I must say. Absolutely wonderful. Great to have you here with us. So we're going to open the floor for Ricardo to just, say a couple of words, and then I'm going to put the girls in some breakout rooms so they can chat amongst themselves for a bit. They haven't had time to really, meet each other, so we're going to do that. So over to you, Ricardo.
Hey, good morning, everyone. So this has been a very interesting session. While I was listening, I learned a lot. I couldn't stop taking notes, but luckily we'll be able to catch the episodes on YouTube in a couple of days. So I'll be able to pause and get all the things that I missed while I was writing. You are what you eat. That is a physical thing. It is a mental thing. It is a spiritual thing. You are what you eat. There's a saying in programming and coding that garbage in, garbage out. If you start with the wrong thing, you're going to get the wrong thing. While we have the opportunities to make amendments, to correct, to address the consequences of our decisions, there are things that it is better to get it right in the first place, as opposed to trying to fix it after. Your nutrition is not just what you eat, it is what you consume. It is what you listen to. It is the music you listen to. If I ask you guys to say your national anthem, you might have to start saying it in the same melody and the same rhythm that you sing it, because you learned it to music. Do you know that Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and the alphabet song A, B, C, D, E, F, G, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, from the time we are babies, we are taught things by music. The music you are listening to is teaching you something. You have to ask yourself, what am I consuming? What is it that I am listening to? You have to ask yourself, what am I watching? What am I consuming? You have to ask yourself, and this is the tricky one, what am I thinking? Because you can feed on your own thoughts. You could end up in this little cycle of the same thought process over and over. And it takes a lot of practice and energy and even help to break a negative thought cycle. What we are trying to do here with you, Gems, in terms of empowering, is not that we blaming you for the things that are going on around you when we say that you have responsibility. We are trying to help you break negative thought cycles so that you have a chance. If I go outside and rain is falling, I get wet. It is not my fault that the rain was falling. I'm not to blame because the rain fell. But the responsibility to dry myself off and change my clothing is mine. The rain is not going to change my clothes. The rain is not going to dry me off. The things that happen to me are not necessarily responsible for fixing it. So while it might be their blame, their fault, the responsibility to fix might be mine. So what we are trying to get you guys to do is to feed on positive things so that when you have thought cycles, you could access a positive thing, that you have a chance. Now, notice we didn't have our Debbies this morning. So I'm going to take the opportunity to run through the mental health checkup, but in a little bit of a different way. I want to marry something that Euthalia said in terms of the alone time. It's something that Donna went into. I want you guys to do me a favor, right? It might not be safe for you to do so, but if it is, just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. And I'm seeing people looking at me. This goes for you too, ambassadors. Close your eyes. And listen. Boom. Something interrupted your peace. Some people kept their eyes closed. Others opened them. And here's the thing. Something will always interrupt your peace, but you could choose whether or not you're going to open your eyes, whether or not you're going to be distracted. And here's the hard thing. In those 10 seconds that I was quiet for, some of us were already starting to feel uncomfortable because we were waiting for something else to happen. We were already starting to think, oh my gosh, where is this going? Wait, this is taking long. What is happening? Did I finish my homework? I'm getting hungry. Your mind was already running off in 10 seconds of just listening to yourself. Peace is something that you have to practice, because there are things that are going on in and around us that is going to try to unsettle us. You have to practice peace. Sometimes the best nutrition is to stop consuming. Turn the TV off, put the tablet down, turn off the YouTube playlist. Sometimes you have to just give yourself a chance for some peace so that you could find out what's going on inside. And if you don't like it, you could take a good, long, intentional look at it and say, why do I think like this? Why am I feeling this way? Because when people put thoughts into our head, we don't hear them in their voice, we hear them in our voice. So we start to believe it because it comes from someone we trust. Us, we keep hearing our voices repeating this thing. So I'm going to ask you guys, as part of your mental health check-in, to think, why couldn't I stay quiet for 10 seconds? Why couldn't I just be okay for 10 seconds? Why was I so ready to get out of 10 seconds with me? And I'm going to ask you to say it out loud. I don't care who's watching. I don't care who's listening. I don't care if you're in the library or in the middle of church. I want you to say it out loud. I love the special in me. 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 We don't have to be anybody else. We don't have to do it like anybody else. We don't have to have what anybody else has. My peace will come from what God put in me. I love the special in me. That is my nutrition. That is my diet. There's a saying that man does not live by bread alone. I am feeding on the love for the special in me. I didn't make it, but I have it, and I'm going to love it. I love the special in me. I don't care what I hear, because I love the special in me. I don't care what I see, because I love the special in me. And sometimes I can't even care how I feel, because I know deep down, I love the special in me. So for your mental health check-in today, listen, I understand that we have different things going on and it's hard. But all I'm going to ask you to do is to remind yourself that I love the special in me. And chew on that for a while.
That is amazing, Ricardo, because we don't realize that we do have that internal, that mental chatter that we take with us 24/7. And that mental chatter, when we start to pay attention to it, you start to hear yourself going and saying negative things. And then you it's like a 2-year-old. You have to bring it back and go, no, we don't think like that anymore. Maybe we used to. No. So you listen to that mental chatter, what you're saying to yourself, how you feel about yourself. And add in, oh my God, that's so amazing. I love the special. And can you think about walking around throughout the day and feeding? Now that's your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. That's your fueling your mind, your body, and soul with. Amazing.
you can't help but feel positive and, feel blessed if you feed on that and, think good things about yourself. If you obviously embrace that special in you, and we have to all realize that we have that specialness. We might find that we are weird or not like anybody else, but it's because we're special. And that's the reason why we're not like anybody else. And why would we want to be like anybody else? We should want to be unique and special. And that's what we are. So, wow. Amazing.
As adults, I know we have, like, one of my phrases is goodness and mercy follows me, or I can do all things through Christ. So you find, but that is on another level because it's so personal. And a lot of times we don't love ourselves. So you're really fueling, you're getting all of it, the protein, the carbs, the starch.
We struggle even as adults, so sometimes it's even tough to imagine, as teens now, coming into yourself and finding your identity and, so many changes taking place in physical appearance and, your mental attitudes and stuff. It really must be challenging, to find that inner love for yourself. But we have to always embrace that uniqueness and that specialness about ourselves.
Someone says in some way, I feel weird. That was, when you practice quietness or meditation or gratitude, it usually, or even putting your hand over your own, you usually feel a tingle of love. And it's nothing to run away from. It's your heart. And it's your energy. So when you're evoking these feelings, this negative vibes, Bob Marley talks a lot about vibes. These are good vibes. It's your vibes. Just like we can feel you. Sometimes you meet people and you're like, I don't have good vibes about that person. You have your own energy and your own vibration. So you're just feeling tingles of love because now you're into a new space and you're fueling and you're feeding your mind. Just our bodies react. If you eat certain kind of food, your bodies react to it. Well, you're just now fueling your mind and your spirit with love and care for yourself. And you're feeling the tingles, you're feeling just your body, you're feeling just that love.
And sometimes when our mind is fueled and with positivity and health and healthy thoughts, it really influences our body, because sometimes we're feeling sick in our body and it's not really our body, it's our mind. And if we change that mental attitude and that atmosphere that we're in, we find that, but I'm not feeling sick anymore, you feel so different. So it's really important that the type of thoughts that you think and environment you surround yourself with really fuels your mental attitude and your physical well-being. They really go hand in hand. And I think this whole session has really put me in a different zone. I hope it's really helped the young ladies, but just embracing that specialness in you, I think it just puts you in a different frame of mind. So really, really grateful. It's the icing on top of the icing on top of the icing. I think it's really been this session just kind of reminds me of a beautifully done, wedding cake, really, adorned with so much icing and flowers and decorations. I think it's just so perfect how everything has fallen into place. It's just wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So I just want to thank everyone.
Quick point of note, as I say wedding cake, Simone, I actually have a wedding to go to later, and the bride is a designer who does wedding dresses. So I'm pretty certain it's going to be an amazing dress and an amazing event. And what I will do is I'll get her permission to share with you guys the picture of the wedding dress when next we meet. Right? She's actually a Trinidad and Tobago designer who's done work across the world and has had her stuff featured on the red carpet in the Cannes International Festival. She's won the Islands of the World Fashion Week competition, that type of thing. So it's going to be interesting, and hopefully I'll get her to have a conversation with you guys before the year is over. And Simone, I know it's 11 o'clock already, but if it's possible, maybe we could still do a 10-minute breakout room for the girls just to meet each other a little bit, and then we could wrap up at, let's say, 11:10, if that's okay with everybody, because you have a say. All right, let's see some hands up for the people who are okay with a 10-minute breakout room.
Yeah, see Ariane's hand is up. Yeah, we're getting some hands up. Yeah, I think they need to meet, talk with each other a little bit, you know.
All right.
Ah, wow, loads of hands coming up. So,
I mean, we've been promising breakout rooms for a while now.
Oh, yeah. So
someone
let's see.
line them up.
Let's see if we can get this done. You know, Ricardo, all that talk about wedding dresses and stuff, you know, it's all nice, but we don't want to give them any ideas, you know, us girls, you know, we love those types of dresses.
Now Dassel is actually, her name is Dassel DeVloot, and she's actually international spokesperson for vitiligo. That is the skin disorder that Michael Jackson had, where his skin changed complexion. So she's an advocate for, she looks different everywhere she goes. She's been teased and bullied as a child and as an adult, you know, and she had to learn to love herself regardless of what everybody else was saying or seeing. She had to learn how to feed herself on positive things and self-love and accepting God's love and her purpose. So I'm actually going to invite her to have a conversation with you guys before the semester wraps up. So
that'd be great. Right, so we're going into our breakout rooms now. About 8 persons per room. Please click on the join button. If you see anything come up, click join to join the room. Now is the time to meet and discuss anything that you'd like to. Any questions?
So what I got from today is that you shouldn't give up on yourself, and you should try mixed foods and kind of like diets.
Yes, Joanna.
And
very well.
I enjoyed them. I enjoyed the breakout room and the projection very much. But what my favorite part about this is that we got to talk to each other and got to say something.
Thank you, Joanna. Joanna was very interactive in the breakout room. And she's actually in Anguilla. She's from Dominica, but in Anguilla. And it's really hot there. Lovely little island. Wonderful. Thanks, ladies.
Since the girls didn't get the breakout rooms for so many weeks, we could probably organize a Saturday morning and just bring everybody together and put them in rooms for an hour and
like an hour. Okay.
Yeah, and call that a day.
Yeah, ladies, would you like that? Yeah. I'd like to do like.
Yeah.
All right, so put up your hands if you're all for that, and then we can do that. Maybe
let's
not
see you guys
this Saturday. Because this Saturday coming, persons are preparing to go back out to school, right?
Yeah. Simone, I'm seeing what looks like an overwhelming majority showing interest in that. So maybe
wow, okay.
Ricardo, could I suggest also we change them every 15 minutes so that they can mix up?
All right.
Mix them up, yeah.
Every 15 minutes.
Like a 20 minutes, 20 minutes or so.
And then shift them around again.
Yeah, no problem.
So for sure, someone will send out an email. There won't really be any discussions, any topics. We're just going to open the breakout rooms and give you guys a chance to, chat amongst yourself, catch up with how school has been, etc. Right?
Yeah, that would be the make friends, take contacts session.
Yeah, so you could
we can maybe learn about different schools or something.
Yeah, you can exchange anything. Anything you want, you can do on that session, right? And then the next session will be the 17th, will be our cleanup activity. Okay, so we'll decide before that time what we're doing for that. Okay, guys? All right, ladies.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye. Enjoy the rest of your day and the weekend.
Bye.
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 All right, bye, guys.